The seagulls are so loud here in Brighton. I don't understand why. Oh man, that's one thing I didn't miss when we lived abroad, was the sound of the seagulls. Anyway, welcome back to today's video, everybody. You're joining me in the garage at the moment. It's a complete mess. I need to tidy it up because, you know, clean space, clean head, all of that. And I've been working on it for the last couple of weeks, just like tinkering a bit here and there in lieu of getting started on this next van conversion. But today is the first day when I'm going to start ripping out the old van, taking off the roof rack, and removing the rear step on the back of the van as well, because I just want to clean it all up, get it to a nice bare shell where I can start the actual conversion work on the van. If you didn't see our video last week, go and check it out. We've had a bit of an update on the channel. As you can tell, it's not called Lindy Vanner anymore. It is now Sprinter Van Conversions. And this is because we're not going to be traveling much this year, at least in the van. And we're going to be concentrating on doing some van builds. I hope you carry on following along. Don't forget to subscribe. Like the video by the end if you enjoy it. And yeah, let's get cracking. First thing I need is my extendable ladder. This is just such an amazing tool. But yeah, super handy, and it takes up no space. As you can see, this is the roof rack, and that's where we're going to have our first roof light, and then we're going to have our other roof light back there somewhere in the middle. So this roof rack has got to come off. I'm probably going to keep it and refabricate it and use it in the future on our van over there, but yeah, for now this one has got to go. And then we're going to have our two solar panels, one over there, exactly the same as on our van over there. Another funky thing about this van is there's a hole in the roof over there. Luckily it's the exact size for a mount that goes on the roof for the solar panel cables. Here you can see what the mounts are. They're just these little bolts that go through with a little rubber plate to stop it leaking, and I'm going to be taking this off and replacing with brand new bolts, brand new stainless steel washers and Sikaflex around all the holes, so it's going to be sealed up for good and we'll have no problems with leaks. Down there is the step that we're going to remove. It's a big old beefy step and it's got a tow hitch underneath it, but we're not going to need that, and maybe I can get a few quid for it on eBay. We'll see. Otherwise I'll just keep it, and maybe it will come in handy one day along with all the other things that I keep. So as you can see on the inside of the van, up here we've got these bolts and plates that are holding in the roof rack. So we're going to remove all those and re-bolt the holes with Sikaflex and some stainless steel washers. Also, do bear with me, it's kind of tricky. Like, the reason that I've never vlogged before when doing van builds is because I'm so focused on the build itself and not focused on filming, and it feels kind of like I'm trying to do two jobs at once. So yeah, I don't know how those guys that, you know, are super popular on YouTube do it, like Eamon and Beck and all those guys. It's like, it's crazy how focused they can be on both filming their production and doing the actual work itself. But we'll get there eventually. Just need to get some practice first. For sure, one of the first things that I want to do is take out the bulkhead, because there's going to allow so much more light into the van, for even when we're stripping out things like the stud work and stuff. So as soon as we can get this out, the better. I am pleasantly surprised. The factory floor is in such good condition and the bolts don't seem to be rusted at all. But there are these 6 new hitch points that aren't from the factory in the floor, which I guess SSE put in, but yeah, hopefully they don't prove to be a pain to get out. But it's probably just a nut on the other side, and then any holes that I sort of discover in the floor I'll seal back up properly. But yeah, that's the first layer of floor off, and it was like 24mm ply, so it weighed a ton. But now I need to take off the factory 9mm floor. For this I'm using these little star bits. They're called Torx, and all of the factory bolts that are in the floor are all Torx head bolts. Super easy. I'm going to get my next fancy tool to show you. So what I've got here is a little adapter for my impact driver. Now I've not got a fancy mechanics impact driver, but this little tool sort of turns my woodworking impact driver into a sort of mechanics impact driver to an extent. It's just this little hex to half inch adapter, and then I can stick that in the socket, stick that in the impact driver, and then I should be able to whip out these bolts pretty quickly. What a relief. Some people really have a problem with getting these bolts out because they can be rusted in from underneath because they've got a captive nut underneath the floor. But these ones are just fine. Yay! Hopefully with any luck it's going to come down now. Great success. So it's been a little while. I've got the bulkhead out obviously, and I've started stripping out the stuff that was put in here by previous owners. Like the electricity board had these little LED strip lights in here and stuff, and they had lots of little special sockets and what have you. I've also found some really thick gauge cable going from the front to the back that's run all within the original wiring loom. They've like coiled it around the original wiring loom. And the way that I convert the sprinters is I conceal the original factory wiring loom within the ceiling and what have you. And now with these extra cables, it's going to be really difficult to conceal it all properly when I come to do the conversion. So I'm trying to be very careful. The last thing that I want to do is snip the wrong wire or remove the wrong wire. And also, we've got an old reversing camera on this van, and if anyone has ever fitted a reversing camera themselves, they know what a pain it can be, particularly with running the cables. So if I can avoid removing any of the old cables, then that would be great, and I can reuse them for a new reversing camera to try and get the existing one working. So Tedious, but trying to go step by step. Maybe I'll stop for some lunch and regroup with myself a bit so I don't make any mistakes. But yes, on the way. So I'm not sure if we mentioned it in the last video, but this van actually comes with an auxiliary electrics box underneath the passenger seat, which is new to us, but we're not going to keep it. We're going to rip out this leisure battery, or auxiliary battery as they call it, to put the diesel heater underneath this seat. But it's interesting to see like a factory fitted leisure battery in the van, and as I was just saying, there's a really thick gauge cable that runs all the way from the front of the van to the back, and I've just realised that that comes from this 60 amp fuse just there. So if I remove that, then in theory I should be able to snip this wire and pull it all the way out, because I don't think I'm going to need a 60 amp electricity source at the back of the van.
Some of them are fixed on like one screw. I'll need to unscrew that.
Look who's come to join me.
Hey! Sorry, I was in my gypsy mood. Yeah, I was on my computer all day, and now I'm doing the van work. Woo, woo, woo.
So now we are just having a bit of a tidy up. It's been a bit of a messy day. The sun's going down. Found a couple of issues. One being the interior light on the cab, overhead cab light thing. That doesn't work at all, and a replacement is £350, so really don't want to do that. But apart from that, all of the bolts are undone in the floor now. Gabby's just helped me with that, and we're just having a tidy up and we'll rip up the floor. So what you got?
This stuff is nasty. Every time I discover a cluster of these little balls, I think it's like some spider eggs or something, and it freaks me out. But we don't know what they are. If you know what they are, put it in the comments below. We're guessing maybe they just soak up the excess oil or something. But they look creepy.
Yeah, they look like spider's eggs or something.
Yeah. So this is what we're finding under the floor panel, some sort of felt or something that soaked up the oil underneath. We're just getting rid of it all, and then we go from there. So it's day 2 or 3 on the van build, and already we have done quite a good bunch of progress. We have removed the roof rack. It was quite a big piece. I think it was out of 3 elements, so we deconstructed the elements and then filled in the holes again. We have also ripped out the floor in the van that had some oil underneath it, so we cleaned that up. That's all done. And I've made a start on insulating the walls with the recycled plastic. I think it's like loft insulation, which is really easy to use, so that's been great. And today we've done a bunch of shopping, got some new plywood. Sam's started cutting out the new floor pieces, so we use the old floor acting as a template to help us cut out the new flooring. So that's what we're doing now. I was meant to be holding that one. Sorry, I wasn't there.
What you up to?
So I'm putting this reflective thermal barrier, which also works as a vapor barrier, over where we've insulated inside the steel panels. So that will help to keep the van warm and cozy, but also not to get insulation damp from the moisture inside.
And I am just about to head back up on the roof. It's super sunny today, although there's like rainy spells here and there, but I'm going to take a chance and cut some holes in the roof, so I'm super excited about that. It's been a while since I've cut a hole in a roof, and for anyone else that's done it, you know how daunting it can be. So yeah, let's do it. Roof light is in, one down, one to go. Super happy with the progress so far this morning. It's been great. Gabby and I have managed to get both of the roof lights in, so yeah, really pleased about that. The weather was touch and go, and it actually started raining a little bit when we were doing one of the roof lights at the back, but yeah, it held off. I mean, they're both in now, so hopefully they're nice and watertight. And in the meantime, Gabby was finishing off the insulation on the back doors, so that's all done now. And yeah, good progress this morning so far. So as you can see, we've put a fan actually in the front of the van, exactly how we have done in our van, and it's been fantastic. It's been really great. And when it's combined with, you know, sucking out air with having this one cracked open, it's just, yeah, a really nice circulation of air throughout the whole van. So we wanted to do that with this van as well, just because we know it's kind of tried and tested with our own vans. We actually had this set up in our second van, which was our first Sprinter, and our current Sprinter, our personal one. So yeah, it's a good a good combination. But now I'm heading into the garage because I need to prepare the solar panels for mounting onto the roof. And they have 4 little brackets, these little brackets here, that are going to be yeah, fixed to the bottom of the panel and then fixed to the roof of the van. And I had to nip off to Screwfix just now to get a few extra nuts and bolts in order to fit them, because weirdly the pack that I got off eBay didn't come with the correct amount of bolts. It came with these little Metsec screws, which there's no way I'm gonna trust those holding the solar panel on the roof of a van driving down the motorway at 70 miles an hour. So yeah, time to mount the mounts. Ready?
Ready!
So I'd be lying if I said I'm not feeling like a bit defeated tonight. It's Friday evening. It marks exactly 1 week since we got the van. I think we got the van literally at 6 o'clock last Friday, and it is 6 o'clock on Friday now. So yeah, it marks exactly 7 days, and I really wanted to get those solar panels on But unfortunately, I didn't realise that they'd sent us 120 watt solar panels instead of 100 watt solar panels. And usually that would be fine. I mean, that would be fantastic. But they don't fit on the van because they're too big. So
at least we noticed it now. You know, these sort of things happen all the time. It's just human error. And sometimes it can't be avoided. It's not our fault, someone else's fault. But at least we notice now, we can raise the issue, get the new ones ordered in, and we'll fit them next week. Having said that, we've done loads. We ripped out the floor, took away the roof rack. We have started putting down the floor. I would say third, maybe a little.
yeah, 1/3 of the floor is down.
1/3 of the floor is down. We started insulating, we started cabling, roof lights are in. So I say for the first week, not a bad start.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sounds just maximizing the effort, but we have put a good effort.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this week we've only really done 3.5 days worth of work, so
Yeah.
it's not bad. Thanks a lot for joining us again in today's video, everybody. It's good to be back on YouTube. If you didn't see our updated sort of channel intro video, then go and watch it from last week. Yeah, go and watch our video from last week to get updated on what we're doing with this particular van. And don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.